second half of the year, which is really, boy, I think it's the most important part of Donald Trump's presidency, both his full first term and this term. If he turns that economy around, if it's booming by October, he goes into Reagan territory. Now, I'm not going to bore you with what happened to Ronald Reagan after Jimmy Carter, but it's so similar to what happened to Donald Trump after Joe Biden. It's almost the same thing. If you want to know, my book, Killing Reagan, is the book. But it took Reagan a long time to get out of that Carter quagmire. But in the second term, he's roaring. And that's going to happen faster because Donald Trump is a much more aggressive president than Ronald Reagan was. So anyway, fascinating conversation. I never know when these things are going to happen. It's not like I get a heads up. You know, be available at 10 a.m. O'Reilly for the most powerful man in the world. His phone rings. I look down at the phone and there it is. And so I got to be on my game all the time. And that's what I try to be. Talking Points memo is about a legal victory for the Trump administration, at least temporarily, on this trans military stuff. Now, you may not think that's so important, but it is, because you have to take the tempo of the Supreme Court. All of this stuff about blocking deportations, about tariffs, about denying ideological concerns like Harvard and NPR, PBS, money, all going to come down to the Supreme Court. So you need to know what the justices are thinking. And this is an interesting ruling. So on January 27, 2025, President Trump issued an executive order, quote, adoption of a gender identity inconsistent with an individual's sex conflicts with a soldier's commitment to an honorable, truthful, and disciplined lifestyle, even in one's personal life. A man's assertion he is a woman and his requirement that others honor this falsehood is not consistent with humility and selflessness required of a service member, unquote. That is pretty harsh, but if you are going to run a military that consists of 1.2 million service people, you got to have discipline, okay? And in this country, we have spent, since 2015, $52 million on so-called gender-affirming care in the military. $52 million. I wouldn't pay $1. Not $1. If somebody enlists in the armed services and you're not drafted, we don't have that here, and then they decide to become the other sex, okay, you just resign. Get a general discharge. That's all. You know, we're not paying for it. I don't want to pay for anybody's gender-affirming care. I mean, maybe I'm a mean guy, but that's not on me. And I don't expect anybody to pay whatever I decide to do in my private life either. Okay? The other thing is that if you are the commander in chief, then you get to run the military the way you want. Okay? It's not subject to congressional approval. Only war, declaration of war is. But the way you run, you're the commander in chief. So anyway, Supreme Court issued an emergency lift of a block that bans transgender in the military. So it's lifting it. Okay, so for right now, if you're transgender, you can't be in the military. And if you're already there, I don't know what you do. But I guess you decide to pack it up. Now, Supreme Court said, look, we're not going to issue a written decree on this, and they did not. We're going to kick it back to the lower federal courts for their ruling, and then we'll take it up again. That's where it is. Okay, so the three liberal justices, Sotomayor, Kagan, and Brown-Jackson, they made it clear that they were dissenting, that they want this block on it. Okay, that's not a surprise. And then the Democratic Party, per se, opposes it, the ban on transgenders in the military as well. Roll the tape.
Frankly, the military has more things to worry about than the handful of transgender service members than this going out there and discriminating against transgender service members.
I don't think, I mean, look, the military does have more important things to worry about, but this shouldn't be happening. Okay? I mean, you can't have chaos in the barracks, and she should know, Senator Duckworth is an honored veteran. of this country. She should know better. But politics oversees everything else. Summing up, got to take the tempo of the Supreme Court. You have to, because Donald Trump's administration is utterly dependent on that body to go forward with what it wants to do. And that's the memo. Another media phony controversy over obeying the Constitution. Drives me crazy. So you'll remember dictator on first day, right? When Trump said that about the car industry, and then the Democrats ran out and said he's going to be a dictator. He's going to be Hitler. And you'll remember good people on both sides, and they ran out and said, oh, Trump's calling the Nazis good people. When he was saying the good people on both sides of the Confederate statue debate. So you remember those. They were vivid, they were lies, and the media just does this all day long. So now we have another one. It all starts on Sunday. Meet the Press, Kirsten Welker. Go.
Don't you need to uphold the Constitution of the United States as president?
I don't know. I have to respond by saying again, I have brilliant lawyers that work for me, and they are going to obviously follow what the Supreme Court said. What you said is not what I heard the Supreme Court said.
They're talking about undocumented aliens and due process. So they take the I don't know, do you need to uphold the Constitution of the United as president? And I don't know. But he's not talking about upholding the entire Constitution. He's talking about one controversy, which if you saw the whole interview, you would know. But the president, boom, takes it right out of there. Okay? And it just makes me so sick because it carries over into Congress. So we have Congresswoman Lauren Underwood out of Illinois, suburbs of Chicago. She shows up yesterday to grill Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem about all this deportation stuff. Roll the tape.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This weekend, the president made the remarkable statement that he, quote, doesn't know whether he has to uphold the Constitution. You, however, have taken a different position, both in your confirmation hearing and when you took the oath of office. You said that you were committed to complying with the Constitution. Do you still stand by that statement?
Absolutely. I believe President Trump
Excellent.
as well.
Let's start. It is also violating the fundamental right of individuals. Do you believe that the Constitution grants everyone in our country the right to due process, including non-citizens?
The administration has the authority to.
Ma'am, I'm looking for a yes or no question. Yes or no. Do you believe the Constitution? Yes, ma'am.
Ridiculous, absurd, dishonest. What else can I tell you? Okay? Number one, she takes the Trump's remark out of context. Number two, she says, this is a quote. Okay, I'm going to reread it to you. All right? So she says, do you believe that the Constitution grants everyone in our country the right to due process, including non-citizens? It doesn't grant everyone in our country the right to due process. There are different categories. So if you are an undocumented alien with a deportation order, you don't have due process. They can sweep you off the street and put you on a plane and boot you out because you already have a deportation order. If you come across today the Rio Grande River in Texas and set foot on that soil of that state, the Border Patrol could turn you right around and boot you right back to Mexico. They don't have to drag you into some courtroom. Now, this woman, this Congresswoman, Lauren Underwood, is either too stupid to know that or too dishonest in her presentation. I don't know which it is. There's no other third possibility. So ridiculous. Anyway, I was going to go over and give you a resume. I'm not even going to bother. All right, Joe Biden, the first sit-down interview since leaving office, Delaware, Hotel DuPont. Actually stayed there one time. Nice hotel. It was recorded yesterday with the BBC. Strange he gives an interview to the BBC, the first one. And, of course, it lasted for 28 minutes, pretty long on Biden's standards. And here was a highlight or a low light. Go.
What did you make of those scenes in the Oval Office? President Trump and President Zelensky?
I found it sort of beneath America, the way that took place. And the way we talk about now that, well, it's the Gulf of America. Maybe we're going to have to take back Panama. Maybe we need to acquire Greenland. Maybe Canada should be. What the hell's going on here? What president ever talks like that?
Okay. Number one, President Biden violates protocol, which isn't in stone, that you shouldn't be, if you're a former president, you shouldn't be undermining a current president. But, you know, look, I could do 30 minutes on Biden's incompetence, okay? But I'm on the record, second worst president ever. Documented it in Confronting the Presidents. I'm actually writing a new Biden and Trump chapter for the paperback, which will be out, I think, in November, time for Christmas. We got Killing Evil in hardback coming out in September. But I'm writing the new chapters on Biden, and because by the time when I was writing the original Confronting the Presidents, the Biden's term wasn't finished yet. Now it is, and now Trump is, you know, I'll get a pretty good handle on Trump by midsummer. So we got two new things. But it's easy for me to, you know, criticize Biden, so why bother, right? Let's face it, the U.S. economy is under stress. National debt rising, trade war shaking the markets. And meanwhile, China is dumping the dollar and stockpiling gold. That's why I protected my savings with physical gold and silver through the only dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. And you can do this. Get precious metals delivered to your door or place in a tax-advantaged gold IRA. They'll even help you roll over your existing IRA or 401k, tax and penalty-free. With billions in precious metals delivered, thousands of five-star reviews, and an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, you can trust American Hartford Gold as I do. Please call 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201 or text BILL to 65532. 60 Minutes. You know, this really hurts me to report this story. So Scott Pelley is a good correspondent. He broke the record for Emmys. He won 51 or something like that. He despises Donald Trump. He puts himself up as Edward R. Murrow versus McCarthy, Senator McCarthy. That's what Pelley's doing here. And it's piece after piece after piece. Trump is the devil, Trump is the devil, Trump is that. Trump is suing 60 Minutes. You know the story. All right, so last night they do a story about Trump threatening law firms, denying them federal business because of what Trump sees as corruption of those law firms. The guy that Pelley centers in on is named Mark Elias. He was the top lawyer for Hillary Clinton when she ran against Trump in 2016. Pelley turns Elias into a hero. Go.
Donald Trump hates me because I fight hard and I fight for free and fair elections. I insist on fighting for democracy in court, fighting for voting rights in court, and insist on telling the truth about what the outcome of the 2020 election was.
Right. That's a bunch of bad word. It's a bunch of bull. Okay? Trump does not despise Elias because he fights for freedom or anything else. He despises Elias because of this. Number one, Elias, when he was running the Hillary Clinton campaign, hired Fusion GPS to do opposition research against Donald Trump. They then hired the British firm that put together the anti-Trump dossier in the Russian collusion fraud. Okay? So Mark Elias is directly responsible for that whole Russian collusion fraud, which he thought would derail Trump and lead Hillary Clinton to the White House. That's why Trump hates him. And subsequently, There was an investigation. It was no Russian collusion. An FBI agent went to prison or was convicted for ginning up phony FISA warrants. All of that came from Elias. Okay? Pelley didn't mention it once. Not once. I'm sitting there stunned. Okay? In addition, he's got 3 lawyers, Elias and 2 others, pounding Trump as a fascist who wants to destroy the Justice Department. Not one lawyer who supports Trump. Not one in the whole piece. I tweeted about it. I mean, I'm sitting there going, what is going on in this country? When this CBS News puts this on the air. And they know what they're doing. They know who Elias is and what he did with Fuse and GPS. They know. And they ignored it 100%. They couldn't find one Trump lawyer to put forth Trump's point of view. 60 minutes. All right. Then Donald Trump, unfortunately, puts a photo of himself dressed as a pope on X, I believe, right? Okay. There it is. Now, this is dumb. Why would you do that? This happened Friday. So, of course, people are offended. Roll the tape.
I hope he didn't have anything to do with that.
Are you offended by that?
Well, it wasn't good.
So Trump didn't do it, but he retweeted it. Is that what they say? I just don't understand. I really don't understand. Now, am I offended by? I'm not offended by much, but it's so unnecessary because many Catholics, the majority, voted for Trump. You may think it's funny, that's fine, but why do that? Why? That kind of stuff. Smart life. So we're always looking out for you. I hope you believe that. I think you do. You wouldn't be here if you don't. So I can't cover foreign news as much as I'd like to because I got so much on the domestic front and we have to concentrate on that. But there's a very good website that covers foreign news. It's called the Global Post. I mentioned it before. And they are going to give Bill O'Reilly subscribers 50% off their yearly, and it's not much. And what you do is you go to globalpost.com and when you fill out their promotion code, you put Bill OR in capital letters. Notice the caps. And then you get 50% off. Okay, this is for new subscribers to globalpost.com. So if you're a foreign news person, this is good. It comes every day. I read it every day. It comes very early in the morning. Go dump, bump, 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 bump. Stuff that I just can't cover. So we hope you check it out. Our healthcare system is a mess. You know that. You wait weeks for a doctor's appointment, get 5 minutes there, then face delays, insurance, red tape. It's slow, frustrating, and it's why All Family Pharmacy stands out in the madness. All Family Pharmacy believes in medical freedom, meaning you decide what works for your health, not some agency or insurance company. Ordering is simple. No waiting rooms, pharmacy lines. Just go online, place your order, and get medications delivered right to your door. They offer 200 medications, including ivermectin and antibiotics, plus emergency kits, customized orders, even bulk buys. More than 100,000 Americans already trust All Family Pharmacy. It's time you check them out. So please go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Bill. Use promo code BILL10 for 10% off. Take your health into your own hands. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Bill, code BILL10. Hey folks, listen to what I am about to share with you. It's important. If you suffer from fatigue, memory loss, achy joints, or just find yourself getting sick all the time, then check out Strong Cell. You used to get NADH in an IV, but not anymore. Strong Cell's proprietary formula delivers NADH in a way your body can absorb. It's the first NADH supplement that works. There's over 30 trillion cells in your body. Take care of them so that they can take care of you. Results include a sharper, clearer mind, increased natural energy throughout the day, so no more afternoon crashes. It's an easy daily 2-ounce drink. You'll feel the impact in 3 to 6 weeks. Invest in your health. Visit strongcell.com/Bill. Use code BILL to get 20% off. That's strongcell.com/Bill. Okay, final thought. I get so many letters. I don't have any money. I don't have any money. I don't have any money. And a lot of them are from senior citizens. And if you don't have any money, you're hosed in this country. That's it. You're screwed. There are, however, some safety nets, and here is one of them. Legal aid. It's free. Now, there are about 130 legal aid organizations in all across the country. You go there, and they have attorneys. It's free legal assistance provided to people who are poor. If you make less than $20,000 a year, individual, or $40,000 for a family of 4, you can get free legal advice from legal aid. You go in there with it, whatever your problem is, and they will advise you or give you legal counsel or whatever. And this is what you have to do, because you're going to get it. Every single American, all 335 million of us, before we die, are going to have a problem somewhere that you're going to need help with. And if you can't pay an attorney, you're going to get it hard. But legal aid, if you are poor and you don't have any money, they are in business to help you. So find out where your nearest legal aid operation is. That's number one. I feel terrible for it, but this is a capitalist society. You have got to have some assets. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.